The ballroom glittered under golden lights, packed with guests in fancy suits and shimmering dresses. Suddenly, a sharp voice cut through the soft music and chatter. "Get her out of here. She doesn't belong at this wedding." Every head turned to look. Standing by the grand staircase was a slender woman in a simple blue dress, her face turning pale. Two large security guards moved toward her, gripping her arms without waiting for an explanation. Emma didn't fight back. She just stood there, frozen in shock, staring at the woman who gave the order, Karen, the groom's event planner, smiling coldly. Emma didn't scream or pull away. She just stood still, her heart pounding so hard she could barely breathe. The security guards gripped her arms tighter, leading her toward the grand exit like she was a criminal. Around her, guests whispered behind their hands, some staring, others pretending not to notice. A few even laughed softly, thinking it was some kind of mistake. But Emma stayed quiet. Her eyes didn't leave Karen, who watched with a proud smirk. Emma's mind raced. She could explain everything right now, but something inside her told her to wait. Let them see what they had done. Emma Hayes never liked fancy things. She grew up in a small town, wearing old clothes and saving every penny. She believed true happiness wasn't about money or showing off. When she fell in love with Daniel Carter, one of the richest tech geniuses around, she had one request. No one could know she was the bride until the wedding day. Daniel laughed and agreed, loving her simple heart. But Emma had a secret reason too. She wanted to see who would treat her badly if they thought she was just an ordinary guest. She never imagined it would hurt this much. From the start, Karen Whitmore, the wedding planner, had made it clear she didn't like Emma. She looked at Emma's simple dress choices like they were a joke. "You can't seriously wear this to a billionaire wedding?" Karen had sneered, rolling her eyes. She didn't hold back her comments about the DIY centerpieces Emma had worked so hard on, saying they were too plain. It was obvious Karen thought Daniel, the billionaire tech mogul, could do so much better than Emma. She didn't understand why someone like him would fall for someone who had nothing. But Emma didn't care. She was staying true to herself, no matter how much Karen judged her. It was hard to ignore, though, especially when it came from someone who controlled every detail of the wedding. Emma had been doing her best to stay in the background, blending in with the catering staff, trying not to draw attention. But it wasn't enough. Karen saw her. With a smirk, Karen walked up and looked Emma up and down before turning to the security guards. "Get her out of here." "She's not part of the wedding," Karen ordered sharply. Emma felt her chest tighten, but she didn't fight back. She didn't want to cause a scene. The guards grabbed her arms, pulling her toward the exit. The room went quiet. Some guests stared, some whispered, but Emma just kept her head down. She could have spoken up right there, but something stopped her. She wanted them to see who they were throwing out, to know how wrong they were. As she was dragged away, all she could think was, this wasn't how it was supposed to go. Just as Emma thought she was about to be thrown out for good, a voice broke through the silence. "What's going on here?" Daniel's voice was loud, filled with confusion and anger. The whole room froze. Everyone turned to see him, eyes wide with shock. Karen's face turned pale as she realized what was happening. "Wait, that's—" Emma stood up straight, finally breaking free from the guards. "I'm the bride," she said quietly but firmly. The room gasped, and for a moment, no one moved. Emma's heart raced. Had she made a huge mistake by not speaking up sooner? But before she could worry more, Daniel rushed toward her, pulled her close, and kissed her in front of everyone. "I'm sorry," he whispered. He turned to Karen, his voice cold. "You're fired." The whole room was still in shock as Daniel looked around, his expression hardening. He took Emma's face in his hands, staring into her eyes like nothing else mattered. Then, without a second thought, he kissed her in front of everyone. The crowd stood frozen. Daniel pulled away and turned to face Karen, his voice cold. "You're fired," he said, making it clear that there was no turning back. Karen tried to protest, but Daniel didn't give her the chance. He turned back to the guests, his voice firm and full of love. "This is Emma, the love of my life. If anyone has a problem with her or where she comes from, you can leave with Karen." The room fell silent, no one daring to move. As the tension in the room slowly melted away, Daniel took Emma's hand, not letting go. He made sure to remind everyone that this was her wedding too. Karen was quickly escorted out, her face red with embarrassment. Meanwhile, the guests who had whispered and laughed before were suddenly all apologizing to Emma, stumbling over their words. Emma didn't know what to say at first. She had never wanted attention, but now, surrounded by people who had judged her, she felt a bit of pride. After changing into the beautiful gown she had chosen from the start, Emma felt like a new woman. Daniel refused to leave her side, and the wedding continued. As they danced together under the stars, Emma smiled. "Still think I'm too simple for you?" Daniel kissed her again, whispering, "You're perfect." As the night went on, Emma and Daniel shared their first dance under the stars. The music played softly around them, but nothing else seemed to matter. It was just the two of them, lost in each other's eyes. Emma couldn't believe how much had changed in just a few hours. What started as a nightmare had turned into the most magical moment of her life. She had always been the girl who stayed in the background, never wanting to stand out. But tonight, she felt like she was finally seen for who she truly was. Daniel smiled and pulled her even closer. "Still think I'm too simple for you?" she asked, teasing him a little. Daniel kissed her softly and replied, "You're perfect, exactly the way you are." And for the first time, everyone else could see it too.